Hello, welcome. For the last 2 months we've been shut down, isolated, etc., worried, scared, panicking and so forth. And most of the time, or a lot of the time, has been taken up with myself looking at the news, doing my research and homework to this new frightening situation that we're now in, all of us, every single one of us. No matter who you are, we're all here and we're here together. Now I can't help thinking about the pictures I've seen, the graphic pictures of people dying in the hospitals. Every morning a new number, a new figure comes up on my TV screen. It's now above 35,000 people in the United Kingdom. And I want to take a moment, I'd like everybody else just to take a moment of your time. I'm not asking for much, it's free. Just a moment please. And just think of any individual you know and put them in that position in that hospital now. 4 or 5 NHS staff surrounded them. No family, no loved ones. They've got a fever, they're in pain potentially, they can't breathe. The machines are keeping them to breathe, some of them. You could be delirious with fever and so forth, not knowing if you ever see your loved ones again. Perhaps you're too far deluded to even think of your loved ones. You're in so much trouble within yourself that you're fighting just to keep alive. And I'm constantly having this vision. It won't go away. And I'll spare a thought to not just that one person there that I've just spoken about. I'd like to spare a thought for the people that they know, their loved ones, their friends, neighbours, etc. You imagine if they just know, let's say just 10 people are affected by one death. That's 350,000 people in this country so far, in the United Kingdom, just alone 350, that's only 10 people. Now that's a lot of people. It's okay all the politicians getting involved, they're doing this wrong, they're doing that wrong, this, that and the other, but forget all that for a minute, forget the rules for a moment. We're all doing the best we can, we're all struggling, we all find it hard. Some of us are going out, some aren't, some are abiding by it officially, some are slipping the net a little bit here and there, but that's understandable because it is hard and we haven't been facing this situation before. So I'm not going to criticise and judge people, but I want you to think about what I've said about the people and those that have gone and those that have been left behind to pick up the pieces. Let's just have a bit of time out and think of them. It's hard, it's not easy, it hurts. Okay, now while that's in your mind, have a look at this. I went out today for a little walk near a beach and they've just eased the lockdown as such, where you're allowed to go and visit one household in their garden if they have one, but you must keep social distancing. Those that have to work can go back to work, those that are needy can go back to work. Okay, and we're now allowed to go out a lot more than what we were originally allowed to go out, and spend more time out on our walking exercise, and we're allowed to sit in a park. Okay, but this is the situation what I saw today. Here are some photos. You might not be able to see them clear, but I will post them next to this video. Look at this beach, totally packed, totally packed. Now I'm not a virologist or a scientist, but I understand how these diseases, viruses, I know how they work, I know how they pass from one person to another. You think 2 meters is safe? Yes, potentially it is. It just takes a tiny little bit of spittle. Every word you say, spittle comes out of your mouth. You don't see it. It's tiny, it's minute, it's microscopic, but it goes into the air. The smaller it is, the lighter it is. So then that will blow around. So when you're walking down the street and you think you're 2 meters apart from somebody, 2 meters apart from somebody, and you're talking, that little bit of spittle will come out of your mouth into the air, and that person could be 10 feet away, and that person could ingest it somehow. Okay, so you need to think about that. And this is a new virus, unknown to us before. We don't know what's happened. I praise everybody so far for the efforts they've made. Everyone's doing the best they can within and with the tools they've got. It's easy to blame this and point the finger and do all these things, but that isn't really fair. Do you really think these politicians, the people that are in power and control, do you really think they would make mistakes to intentionally harm you? No, that's not the case. That's just frustration talking when we do that. No, they will do their best what they can, and under the current climate, within the timeline and time frame they've had, they've done okay, you know, they've done okay. I think some praise is due by everybody. Yes, we're all frustrated and angry, and we're all confused as well. But remember, it's a new situation for them as well as us. So, you know, that's not helping one another by getting angry and frustrated. I want to scream the house down. I want to go out. I want to do all them things, but I can't either. And it scares me because I know how this works. I do not go out and I will not go out. Okay? So remember, 35,000 people so far. We're easing lockdown. We've suddenly got down to a lower death rate in the NHS now, which is a good thing. Thank God, thank whatever, thank whoever, whenever, however. So that's a good thing. But remember, those that have passed so far and all the people they've left behind, think of them, yeah? Just think of them. I do not want to see anybody, anywhere, be on that television the next morning having a fatality, hey, or taking up another incubator. I don't want to hear that about any individual. I really don't. And suddenly now we've got down to the lowest death rate and we're letting people back out again. And now they talk about a second wave. Now, you've seen the pictures of the beaches. They're posted with this video. Potentially there'll be a bigger wave than the first wave, because people are not listening. Please think about that person in hospital, as I've said. Just think, and their families, their loved ones, their friends. Just think of that. Yes, the NHS can cope now. They have plenty of beds spare. Thank God the Nightingale Hospital hardly had to get used. Thank God for that. However, if you want to behave like that, irresponsibly, and potentially catch the virus and get ill yourself and potentially spread it amongst others, including your loved ones and family, then fine, carry on doing what you're doing. But the last point of my message is, the NHS can cope with you now. So if you want to get sick and you want to get ill due to stupidity, then the NHS can manage it. So go ahead, but I wouldn't like to see it. So please people, take care and thank you for listening.